Good morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. Here's lo-fi. Lo-fi. Very lo-fi. All right. So today's work, we're going to continue where we were yesterday. We got the time to do it. We're going to do it. So my goal, hopefully, is to have an operable um, quasi scripty thingy by the time we exit out the break. So let's get back to work. All right, we've got up here, we have the pause here is, can we start this scene and move into this scene with Chang walking to her quarters and going, this sucks. I mean, we still want to show that going into this scene, we want to show there's a certain amount of 20 hours. Good morning, Jerry. Yeah, you are totally welcome to miss as many of them as you want. It actually has happened in the past where I have been here all by myself. I've just been here being me. So, but in the accountability section of this was, I just have to be here, make sure I turned on all of the switches, and that was enough accountability for me to do the job and be done. So, now I'm doing I was trying to be someone else once and just weird. We called that teenagerhood. So, I am, or unless you can be Captain Kirk, then be Captain Kirk. All right. I'm looking at this 4 or 5 page setup rig here. We've got so what you have missed is we're writing in issue 2 and 3. Since I'm by myself on the writing team of this, I skip the script phase, generally speaking. I used to think that was a bad thing. But now, as I have gone along here, you're fine. As I've gone along here, I've kind of had this thought process. Well, if we cloned you, you'd be a pirate. Okay. All right. So Now I'm kind of doing the thinking it through. So, Jerry, what you've missed on this one, by the way, I've heard people refer to you as Max and heard you referred to you as Jerry. Do you prefer one over the other? Does it matter? If you prefer one, I'd rather switch to that. If you prefer Max over Jerry. I just have always known you as Jerry because that's how you show up on my Facebook feed. And I don't remember things unless I see it in print, generally speaking, like names. So if you prefer Max, I can switch to Max. Just saying. It may take me a little bit. I'm getting to the point now where I'm calling Can all the time on a reliable basis. All right. So what I'm doing now is figuring out this scene. That's fair. But Can that's his screen name, so to speak. That's not what we call him off screen. To his face while talking to him. It's one of the reasons why Pepper has such a hard time with it. It's because Pepper hangs out with him off stream. And so, it boils down to, how would you prefer? Because I'll keep calling you Jerry if that's okay. I'll even call you Max. I just need to know that that's where you want me to go on that one. And if you think that people are likely to find you on the show here and you want to connect that to the wrestling world, I'm so excited for Pepper. It's so cute. He's like, we can't broadcast any pictures. I'm like, we never broadcast pictures of our children. None of our children are allowed on screen. That's been the rule. It's a standing rule. My kid's not allowed on screen. We don't put Troy's kids on screen. It's the standing rule. We even try really, really hard not to say their names. Protect their privacy. We try to protect your daughter's privacy as well, Brent. I mean, like, everything needs to be protected. Our kids need to be defended. So, yeah, but he's so freaked out about it. He's like, don't mention it. Don't talk about it. It's okay. It's all right. I love the nickname. All right. Yep. Yeah, I was going to say, sadly, all of us are kids. There's that. All right. I've seen pictures because he's Facebook called us to show us. And she's just adorable. And she's a little peanut. And she's wrinkly. And she looks like an alien, just like all kids do. She's an adorable alien, but she's still an alien. Just like all kids. And we're calling her Nori, like the seaweed. Which is why I keep putting seaweed in there every time. Because I'm like, seaweed. Which is fine. My kid, that's not even a nickname for my kid. My kid's got a Japanese name that means just water. Not really, but close. All right. I'm going to think through this scene. Yep, that's why I keep putting seaweed out. It's funny. Alrighty. Alrighty. So here's the question I'm having a problem with right now. By the way, Can goes through all of the same things I go through here. He just does it internally. I don't. I can't do. I do everything externally. So it's just the nature of. I think somebody, I don't even remember who now, was the one who said it the best, which was ADDers can't think internally because there's so much noise going on in our brains. We have to talk out loud. So that's one of the reasons why I love this stream. I can just stream of consciousness, and you guys can say, that's a good idea. That's not a good idea. I don't know about that one. So here we've got, and I'll show you what we're working on right now. We're talking about scene 1 of issue 3. Scene 1 right here is this one. Scene 2 I'm pretty happy with. I've kind of set it down. We're okay with that one. Pretty good here. We'll work on the other half of scene 2. But the first scene here is Chang. And Chang is doing the, we're kind of screwed. What can we do to get out of this? Thinky sort of thing. And that's a thing that she's working on. So she's crunching the numbers here. And ultimately, by the end of this scene, she has hooked up with Tum, who's the engineer. And between the two of them, they've worked out this. Oh, look, it's promotion, Mr. Raymond. Oh, I'm going to block you. Oops. Poof. Poof gone. I didn't think that would be something that would stop me from being your friend. I have had ADD since, well, all of my life. The first time that I was diagnosed with it, though, was when I was 19. And it was still a very cutting edge, new part of society at the time. There weren't a lot of people who knew what it was. They didn't know what was going on with it. I was just assumed to be a disobedient, kind of obnoxious child through school because of, inattention. As I, being diagnosed, they put me on Ritalin. The Ritalin had weird effects on me. I didn't do so well with Ritalin on and off of it. It fixed the ADD. The biggest problem I had, and I still do have, is I still always woke up an ADDer. So I'd forget to take my Ritalin, go to work, and then screw up at work. It affected my early jobs. It affected my early career paths, things like that. So, and things didn't get done well, and the world is a little bit more complicated because of the way that ADD has treated me over the years. Now I'm in therapy, and my therapist is an ADDer, which is great because she and I she's been going through talking about all of the tricks and all of the things that she uses to keep herself operating from day to day, in hopes that we can keep me operating from day to day without falling into normal pitfalls. But this show, that's the whole point of being here and doing this. That's the whole point, is if I have something. Right now, I don't work for anybody. I was laid off in 2013 and that was during that recession. During that time, I couldn't find another job. And after a year or two, it was 2 years, after 2 years of looking for a job, I had fallen into a very serious depression. And so we opted to try to find things that I could do that worked well, that, things that didn't require a boss. And then, so I started doing photography. I started doing graphic design. Um, started doing work for various companies out there and stuff like that, and managed to bring in income. But it's sporadic because I'm an ADDer and I forget that I'm supposed to do work. So that's a thing that kind of goes on there. I'm looking to see. Speaking of work, oh yeah, that's totally cool. You nuked him. I appreciate that you nuked him. I nuked him on Restream, so you actually nuked him so fast that it didn't come up with the option to block him on Twitch. So you nuked him before I could nuke him. So good job. I mean, you did a great thing. But continuing on, Jerry, that's definitely a thing. I have been ADD all my life, and I don't actually consider it to be embarrassing or hidden or anything like that. I don't think. I mean, if you talk to people, you can say, "Yeah, guy's ADD." It's fine. I don't wear it as a badge of pride, but I firmly believe that it's not my fault that I have ADD, but it is my responsibility. So I've got to make sure that I do all the things and still get the work done, which is why Brent gets on here and cracks the whip on me every so often. Well, yeah, but I mean, well, what is it too? It's like Mr. Manu Monkey's 5OD thing. That was very funny. Oh, Can. While I have you on the thread, anytime I post a link to your server from Restream, it blocks it and then yells at me for it. So just so you know, you might want to unblock Restream, the Restream bot, because I think it comes from the Restream bot. Or we should work with it or mess with it sometime. We need to kind of dink with it, because last night I tried to put a link up on here, and your server blocked it, and the person who needed the link was on your Twitch, and so I was like, oh no. Luckily, Brent was able to repost it with his moderator privileges, but I think it's still, we should be able to post from here. So yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's something under Nightbot is locking it down or something. So okay, back to work. Despite what Stitch is saying today, I actually am not feeling particularly like not todaying, like Stitch says. I just like the shirt because it's Stitch. I love Stitch. Stitch is the best. Stitch is always the best. I don't like to appropriate Native American culture, but I've got to say, if I had a spirit animal, it is definitely Stitch. Most definitely. Not appropriating, just commenting. Okay, back to my work here, what I was doing. We know that this is a right, so this is going to be a left. So this is the spread right here. And I'll put out a pen to indicate, because this is our spread. In fact, I think I'm going to probably take a break here because I'm not thinking. This isn't coming through my brain like I want it to. This isn't working like I want it to. So I'm going to do this. You know what? I really appreciate that, Jerry, because you're right. My obsession with detail is most certainly an ADD trait, but a positive one, a positive ADD trait, and one that I'm sure makes Brent want to throttle me all the time. However, however, it is definitely it is my ongoing ADD trait. Okay, I'm gonna take this base, maybe. Yes. Okay. We're not missing the forest for the trees right now, Brent. I'm trying to distract myself long enough that I can sneak up on my problem. So, and fix another problem while I'm at it. But just so you're aware, we're not forest for treesing here. Oh yeah, no, I'm just what I'm about to do is not forest for treesing. As in, I'm about to go off on a flight of fancy, but I just wanted you to know that I am cognizant and aware. Oh, thank you. And one could argue that I obsess over detail. But it's frozen. Happy Arbor Day! Sorry. If you know, you know. That's one of those if you know, you know moments. Jerry, please tell me you watch um, the Orville. It's okay if you haven't, but you should. So, I should have done this before. This would help us a whole lot. I'm not sure whether this is important to you or not, so we will keep it. We'll keep two different versions of this in case you need it the other way, but I don't know why I didn't do these as layouts. So what do I mean by layouts? I mean, I'm actually going to put this all the way to the bottom of each one of these so that there's I did this really fast one day. And then Ken was like, that's the bestest thing. I'm going to use it. And I'm like, sure, have a blast. And then I started looking at it. I'm like, probably should have not done that one thing or done that one thing. So it's like, meh. This will help us remember that that's off that side. So that's fair. It was in season 1. The quote that I just did was season 1. That was the tree, putting the tree seed on the krill ship. And then he was like, Happy Arbor Day, and pushes the button, and the tree grows in the middle of it, and everybody was like, Happy Arbor Day. Happy. He's like, Arbor, it's when you grow a tree. Trees? You grow a tree? And then like the guy's like, I understood. And he's like, thank you. Yeah, it's just good. Been meaning to clean this up for a while. It was not ideally set up. And I'll do the same thing here that I did over there to indicate that there was coming in from the other side. You can't use it. There we go. And then I'll make that a special piece. I mean, there was rumor that Halston Sage was dating Seth MacFarlane for a while there, and I don't know. And that part of the reason she left was because of a bad breakup between the two of them, and I don't know. May have happened, may not have happened. Unsure. Good morning, Patsy. Can is technically here somewhere as well. Just so that you are cognizant. I mean, not like it really. I mean, it does matter because we love Can. Fox cancels everything. It's a Firefly law. Now that I've had some time to use this system, I'm going to make the reforming version of this a little bit. Right? Right? We're just singing. Oh, Pepper and Bill have adopted a little daughter. They have announced it. So we can now talk about it on here, which is what we're all excited about. And so Nobi is Brent. So it's, yeah, Nobi is Brent. He's on my Twitch stream right now doing maintenance work on it. And sometimes he's out on Kayan's Twitch stream doing maintenance. He's a moderator on both of our streams. Mostly because I have zero clue how to operate Twitch. It's all alien technology, so I don't know. So Brent's being very useful and helpful to me on that one. It makes me really appreciate it. So, but yeah, Pepper and Bill finally they've been waiting for like 4 years or something ridiculous. They've been on the waiting list to adopt a child, and they finally got their little girl a couple of days ago. And she is this little teeny peanut about this big, and she's just so cute. And now Mariah is like completely flipping out and wants to make a blanket, and Kayan's mom wants to make a blanket, and it's so funny and it's so adorable. And I'm actually like, I'm gonna go up there and I'm like, we could take the baby and you just take care of the baby, and you guys can take a nap if you want, and we can hold the baby, because like all of us are having like all of the baby instincts are showing up, right? You do not, actually, the baby instincts better. I can hold you like a baby. That works. And then you'll just sit here and go, well, why am I being held like a baby? This is my life, meow. This is my life, meow. My life, meow. He puts up with it. Right? He's like, in my life, meow. Babies. Everybody loves babies. Right? We're all like, all of us are doing, yeah. Speaking of babies, he decided to come over and get scratched. But then I picked him up and flipped him over like a baby. And now he's like, wait, no, I don't know if that was what I was after. I'm like, maybe that wasn't what I was looking for. And George is like, maybe that wasn't such a good idea. I regret my life choices. All right. We're going to take these 3 pages here are always the odd men out pages. So if we want to do something else with this, that's what these pages are for. So I make them separate because, for example, in the current comic, they are, between all 3 of them, are going to be 96 pages, yeah? So if it's 96 pages, we're still going to need 4 more pages to make 100 pages. right? There are 3 issues, so that's going to be 1 page for each issue, and then 1 page, and then 2 pages for 1 issue. So they'll to have the extras on there. Let's not look at the damage you did. Look at the damage you did. So what will have to happen is there will have to be omake pages, and that's what they're called, omake pages. They're extras. You either maybe we're talking about Nori. We're talking about all of us like being suddenly aunts and uncles. Good morning, Bob. Holy cow, there's 8 of us on here now. Look at us all being here as a team. Being all excited about your child. Just saying. It's a baby. And we're all into the baby thing. Maybe we think babies are cool. You just can't stop us now. We're all into this baby thing. Like I said before, it takes a village. Welcome to your village. I figure Pepper is on paternity leave like Bill is. They're both on paternity leave. So it's okay that Pepper is not on stream. But it's nice to see Pepper in the duck pond over here. See you later. Did we call this area the duck pond? Are you guys in the duck pond over here? Is that what this is? I think you were saying duck blind, but I feel like that's shooting ducks, not being a duck. And I feel like the joke is always going to be that we're all ducks. We're all quacked up, right? I feel like that's the joke. Yeah, I like duck pond. Duck pond is good. Oh, I think that if anybody has the most appropriate name to be part of QuaCk, by the way, it's Bill. So I'm just saying. Bill is the one who has the most appropriate name to be part of QuaCk. Bill most definitely belongs to QuaCk as well. Even though Bill is a programmer, we don't hold that against him. Bill's also a Trekkie. We don't hold that against him. Or me, for that matter. Alrighty. Come on, there we go. Right? I figure we've got ourselves some. Whoa. Do that. All right. So what this is these are the breakdown sheets that I use. One of the things that I have noticed with breakdowns is that I need to see. Oh, good. I need to be able to see layouts, right? We were talking earlier about layouts, and I need to be able to see the layouts. And what a layout is this. In a comic book, you have a page, then you have the front and back, then you have, as you turn the pages, these are open. And you need to be able to see how they lay out in order for you to make them all work together. And so One of the problems is if we treat each page like a discrete page, then you can't actually see whether they interact with one another correctly. And the truth is, even though we think of comic books as discrete pages, the truth is we're actually reading in a pattern to both pages. So I need to redo this a little bit here because we have these layouts that are kind of complicated the first time around. They didn't quite go over as well. And so that's what I'm kind of messing with right now is this. We're doing these layout setups so that I can kind of see what I was up to. But also, I started writing a whole bunch of notes up here in this upper margin above these pages, and I realized how extraordinarily valuable that is. Use arrows to direct that. It's funny, that's actually considered bad form. So there's that. Also, though this left side over here has been very useful as a guide. Yeah, there are actually, we've had Cat on here, and when Cat's on here, they've been telling us a lot about how manga is done with specialized names for very special functions. And they had these entire beautiful discussions with us, like about dropped panels, the panels that are slightly out of place and slightly to the right that are put specifically right here so that on this page it leads you to this page, or if they're put here, it's led to a big spread, a large picture over here, which specifically leads your eye into a big moment. And there's a word for it. There's a Japanese word for those pages. There's a Japanese word for the gutter in the center, and using that gutter and crossing over it. Like there's all these techniques that they were telling us about that was incredible and so very useful. And I was so pleased that they came on and told us all about that stuff. I hope I can drag them on here again someday. That'd be very useful. They were a remarkably useful person, which makes them happy to be that useful. I mean, like that's the thing. They always kind of want to be that useful, which is cool. I mean, they are my buddy, and I'm fond of them, but also glad that they're happy to help. All right. So I had put this indicator on the background to indicate a splash, right? That dark green border indicates that we're in a splash. I think so. I think Cat was, well, I don't know. Cat's working for Global Comics, which, by the way, I'm a big fan of. Global Comics has gotten me a lot of readers moving in on this. Is one of the reasons why I'm pushing hard on this right now, is because I've got readers who are actually kind of interested in what's happening next, you know? So 17 is the next splash, and that's here. So we're going to do this. And this is a splash. So actually put the the splash line here as well. Splash pages are full page sort of chapter breaks. And now you can see how the splashes. You're a fan, yay! Splash pages then are generally always a right page or a left page if you're doing manga and going the other direction. So I almost want to change the background color in the secondary here because it's hard to read these pages. It's pretty easy to read the light blue. It's really hard to read these. Yes and no. In manga, which is the reason why I have it set up like this, is because I'm manga style. I follow the manga style. In manga, generally speaking, the way that they do their setups is they'll do them in 16-page bursts. And oh, yeah, I've got one of those. Bob, I do have one of those. Although it's not full-fledged. Like, it's not this guy. Which I feel like at some point I'll have to make something similar to this guy. Right? I mean, because like this is the Red Book Starfleet Technical Manual. You know, this is the infamous 1975 Franz Joseph Technical Manual, of which I have like 6 of. And I keep progressing further back to, you know, more and more original 1975 versions of them as time goes on, as it progresses. But so back to why manga is done like this. Manga is done in groups of 16 pages, so that you have that. What they'll do is they'll put them out in Shonen Jump or those Jump comics. I know Bob's seen them, where the big phone book sized, done on you know, like crappy newsprint, and they're all different colors each pages. So the pages are pink and then blue and then green and then yellow and then etc. 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 And those are called those are those big ones come out every week, I think, depending on whether they're monthly or weekly jumps. And like the Shonen Jump and the Shoujo Jump are both girls comics and boys comics set up in these big thick groups, and they come out weekly. And so the idea is that you have 16 pages in each one of those. So they're broken, all of our manga are broken into 16-page groups so that they can be put into Shonen Jumps at 16-page bursts. And that's what we're doing here. Essentially, you use these splash pages, like this one right here or this one right here, to essentially say, you know, here was, you know, one chapter of, let's say, Kayan's comic. It would go 16 pages, and now you're on to Bellatrix Rising. And then it's a splash to show you, hey, welcome to Bellatrix Rising. You're now in the next chapter of Bellatrix Rising. So, Tankobon are a little different. Then, once we've done all of this, then we move to the Tankobon, right? And Tankobon then are compiled versions of the comic, right? So they're all compiled together and then bound. The actual Japanese Tankobon, this is an American version of the Japanese Tankobon. I must have taken the stairs or something. Or something, because I don't know where This area over here desperately needs to be fixed. Because we are most certainly out of control over here. Okay. Yeah. So once you get a tankobon together, that's when you have a full set. Bellatrix Rising is different than manga in that I have a certain number of chapters that now make what I call an episode. And an episode is a nod or a reference to Star Trek and not, in fact, a reference to anything Japanese. So, uh-oh. My wife went to work and forgot something. And that's what she's texting me now. Oh, noes. Oh. She forgot her badge. She can't get into the building. Oh no. So we are in a frustrating moment here. We leased our EV. We leased our Leaf. And the lease requires that we stay under 10,000 miles a year. And the lease is up in June, and we're at 18,800 miles on the Leaf. So now she has to drive my car. But she doesn't necessarily like driving my car. So back to this one here where we're working on this. The next thing I'm looking at here is when I was doing this one, what are the things that I don't really use a lot? I don't use this area that much. And I'm wondering if I can use this area for writing notes or something. That's kind of what I'm wondering. Hang out quick. I have a shoot next Monday, and now it looks like there's a snowstorm rolling through Sunday night, Monday. And Nate is like, I don't think there's anything else we can do. Sorry, you're going to have to just drive in the snow. I'm like, that's fine. I can. It's not a horrible thing, but, you know, I don't want to if I can avoid it. I mean, I can. Anyway, looking over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this would be 5. Kind of looking at this and going, I wonder if I can use this zone. I like this rise and fall function, but I think I can combine it into a thing that I can write over and still use. So we're going to try. A lot of fun with the right hand. You're coming. So what we're going to do is we're going to try something new over here. Because I don't use this. So, I mean, I do use it, but I only use it right in the very beginning to give a guide. And I almost can make this climb up and go down on top up here and then use this over here as notes. It might even be better. So we're going to make a new layer. I still can't. Mm-hmm. I think that you underestimate my ability to be masochistic, Bob. I'm just saying. What was that? Because I already could do a cutaway. I already have like the entire rig of, I mean, like, here's a deck plan of the kitty. Up to and including each individual bed for the enlisted. They have bunk beds. Hi. If you want hugs, you have to come over here. Okay. Okay. The only problem is if we change the story like I just did, if we change the story as I have done, we have to decide where she's staying. And if we assume the kittiwake is full up, we have all of her enlisted and all of her officers on board, right? Right. That's important. So, back to here. In color. I want color. Bob wants color. You know you're a weird cat, right? I'm just saying you're a weird cat. All right, we're going to try to fix this thing. I think we can go with a panel extension like this. Now that we have the left, right over here, it now can tell me everything, right? So if we were to do this, how can I break this into 5 different pages, right? Because we've got almost all of them here. No vacancy sign. There's no vacancy on board. Just deal with it. Right. I wonder if I can just use, because these were 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope. Okay. Here's how we do this game. Make it big enough to cover all 5. Hit OK. And put the line work in. use this shade. No getting seasick, guys. And we say here. 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 And then we take this guy. We say you. And you. Okay. Then we take it and we shrink it back down again so that it fits inside the rail there. But like we said before, we can make it bigger now. And it can fit up to here now. All right. You got your sea legs. Donald says, I got my sea legs. I don't know, Donald. Do you have sea legs? What do you think? I'm only saying that. SD Volatrix Rising. There actually is an SD Tamerlan out there. So that's not actually beyond the pale. So it is definitely a plausibility. I think what I will do is make this match what we just did there. So delete. I'll bring this down just slightly so that it's got some gap between it and the one above it, like so. And this gives us a little bit of line there that they can work with. And then we'll take and go white and then go right between these two with white, like that. And right between these two with white. And that gives us 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So that they're in. No, they were just here for a minute or two. And then Pepper had to go back and be dad. Dad time happened because the little one started to wake up. So they were only here for a minute. I do use the sweat beads and things like that periodically. Oh yeah, Donald, you weren't here at the top of this. They got their little girl. So Pepper and Bill are on paternity leave. So they're both operating now completely on paternity leave. So there's that. Oh, I totally have aunt and uncle plans. There's nothing they can do about it. I'm a firm believer in takes a village, and so I even said it to Pepper. I'm like, "Welcome to your village, bro. And nothing you can do about it now. We are part of your village, and always will be. We are here to help raise children. It's a thing." So, Bob, did you miss that too? I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you missed it. I apologize greatly. So, yep. Pepper and Bill got their little daughter a couple of days ago, and they are now fledgling parents, for better or for worse. It's very funny. They are already experiencing the joys of being a parent, um, with the infamous, "What is all of this stuff coming out of this child, and why is it everywhere?" How does a human being this small generate this much poop? These are all things that I wondered too whenever I was first in that position. So I totally understand. Baby food's fun. There are some seriously wild things that happen being a parent. How did you generate this much poop? I just don't even know how you generated this much poop. Yeah, the good news is that they don't smell bad for the first like year. The poop doesn't smell. That's the weirdest thing. I would have thought that would have been a thing, but it wasn't. Poop starts to smell at some point, though. Woo, doggy. And when it does, you're like, well, that happened. Mm-mm. Don't do that yet. Yeah, first couple of, I don't know. Well, okay, and maybe I'm remembering it differently because it's been a year or two since I've had my child. My child's now a stinky teenager almost, so there's that. At least he's definitely working on stinky teenager. That's definitely what he's after. So, it's a thing. 11 though. He's a good kid. He's having a rough time with his ADD because guess who's also got ADD? Guess who inherited it from dad? Won't name any names, but it's him. Oh yeah. We're in the plot of which plot? The plot of being the babysitter. Give some gap there for these two. The outrun there. There we go. All right. I should have done this a long time ago. That's all right. I've got time today. I'm not quite thinking through that entire scene. I really want to be, but I can't come up with. Oh yeah. I think that's gonna be an uncomfortably funny scene. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be like, do you want to get married? Married? I think the translator is broken. Oh yeah. Daddy Daycare played on a trope that I felt was kind of dense. It played a lot on the trope that, men have no idea how to take care of children. And, you know, we are pathetic at it and stuff. And I didn't like that. It's kind of like I got better things to do with my life. You know what I mean? Like, I get it, I understand, and I follow, but it's still kind of you know, it's like I am a great dad. I'm a great teacher, and it's like I don't need people to feed that misinformation to society that we suck at this stuff, because we don't. We're actually pretty good at it. Um, it's back to that leading the stereotype thing. You do what you need to do. Humans do whatever they need to do. If that's take care of a child, we humans are really good at it. You know what I mean? We can. Yeah, it's the stereotypes. We don't need those stereotypes. We got this. We got this. I'm just fine at being a dad. I'm pretty good at that whole 9 yards. Yeah, and I know what you meant, and it's true. They're much more okay with the idea of you know cranking these jokes at dads, like, oh yeah, you 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 dads can't do anything. You're incompetent and can't cook and you can't do the housework. And it's back to that um that belief that we need to have everybody in their place, and women should be at home doing all of this stuff, and men should be at work doing all this stuff. And it's like this weird belief that that's okay, and it's really not. um it's not okay to say that, because you're right, it's still sexism. It's still saying that it's all right to be sexist and say that men should be. It's a backhanded attack on women as well. I mean, it really is, because it's like, well, women should do this job because this is men are incapable of doing it. Well, I saw a thing on this, and it's weaponized incompetence, and it was an article on it, and I didn't even think about this, but we do this. I think about it because I know that I did it when I was a kid. And I even think, like, Bill Cosby made a joke about it in one of his sets. And I thought, that's not good. Um, yeah, cake for breakfast. I like cake. No, the
Yes, it was, but it wasn't just cake for breakfast. It was um, you screw it up so that finally she gets so mad at you that she just fixes the problem, and that's what you wanted anyway. And that's weaponizing incompetence, is what that's called, and it's not acceptable. It's actually like, no, really, you can't do that. It's not acceptable at all. Um, but that's what it is. It's that um, we're going to pretend like we have no clue what we're doing, and then uh, I shouldn't do this. This would be a bad move. Let's do this instead. I'm like, what are you doing here? Do this instead. No. But it is. It's weaponizing incompetence. And I realized that I was doing it when I was a kid. That's my wife. She's home. Sadly. She messed up. She's But yeah, weaponizing incompetence is definitely a thing. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing at all. No, I just can't do this. I'm sorry. And we both do it. I mean, like, all of us do it in culture. It's actually really, it's interesting because we all do that weaponizing competence thing. I never thought of it until my kids started doing it. I'm just incapable of taking out the trash, Dad. There's nothing I can do. Guess you'll just have to do it. I'm like, that's not the way this works. Can't weaponize incompetence. All right. Now that we've done this, we have 2 sets of rows that go, and I can see already that they're short, which means that none of this was, everything was, wait until your father gets home. Even little things. The way we park our cars in the garage, my car is parked nose out for multiple reasons. One, when I was in Japan, I learned that parking nose out is actually a much better way of parking than parking nose in. And I like that a whole lot better. And it was explained to me, and that makes total sense. So now I park nose out anytime I possibly can. But that means you have to back into the garage, and that's uncomfortable. It's hard to back into a garage. So for a long time, the way it would work was my wife would take my car, and then she'd drive it, and then she'd park it in the driveway and say, I can't park in the garage, you park in the garage. And as time went on, we learned about this, and she immediately stopped doing that. She was like, I'm not messing with that anymore. I'm not weaponizing incompetence. And I'm like, aw, that's cool. It was like she was on board with this. She's like, we're not doing this. I mean, she's not known for, she's not notorious for doing a lot of things that are, classic in that style. It's not her style. She's very, fair individual. She works really hard to be very fair. She doesn't like unfairness, which is good. I'm okay with this. But yeah, that was an interesting thing. Going backward on cars with seats? Not sure I followed that one, but okay. I mean, I believe you. I'm just not sure I follow. All right. 2 more pixels, and I think this is going to be the right size. But, I mean, like, for a long time, we don't even think about some of these things. For the longest time, I weaponized incompetence by doing I only know how to cook, McDonald's. You know what I mean? Like, That was the stupid thing I did. And it was like, that's dumb. Because of course I know more than that. That's ridiculous. So I was doing that as a weaponizing incompetence as well, and that's ridiculous. That was silly. Because of course the truth of the matter is, she cooks some of the time, I cook some of the time. She likes to cook whenever she's not working, whenever she doesn't have school duty. And that makes total sense too. I, on the other hand, will cook any other time because I typically am at home. Also makes sense. Oh, it's because of the off tracking. Vehicle's off track, going backwards. And so that's hard for a lot of people. They have a hard time with off tracking. It's the same problem you'll run into with buses and big rigs. Off tracking sucks. Just in general. Okay, I am not liking this line right here, and it's messed up. So I'm gonna fix it by taking this line. So we're just cleaning this up and making it nice, if you're wondering what I'm doing, because it was never cleaned up before. Dang it. So we're just cleaning this up and making it look better, putting things in the correct place. There we go. Now we have 4 rows of this properly aligned, and you can already see we are way off design by a lot, right? Because if this is 4 rows, then we've got 3 extra rows off the bottom there, and we're only going to have 5 rows, 6 rows total. So I can already see we are way screwed up on this. We shouldn't be, but we are. All right. So we're looking at this, we're looking at this, we're looking at this, we're looking at this. Okay. What this is telling me is that I had more room on row 2 than I had on row 1. You know what I mean? Like there was just like inconsistent rows. And that meant that row 1, where I have most of that information, if you look over here, I've got all of this information I was writing up here in row 1, and I've got none of it here. And it's like, okay, I've got no room for that. And that's an issue. So we're going to fix it. That's what we're going to do right now. We're fixing that right now. Look at us fixing this problem because we're good people. All right. Yeah, that's off tracking is a brutal problem all the way around. It's bad for little cars. New Year's Eve, we're gonna sing karaoke. Cause karaoke's cool. Just saying, like karaoke. I sing karaoke lots, lad. I like to sing karaoke. I'll even sing it, here on the show, and you'll all cry. Like, stop doing that. Jeez, guys. Guy, why would you do that to us? I thought we were friends. Typically what all happens there. You know what I shouldn't do is that. Let's not do that yet. We've set up 1, 2. Let's do the thing that I was thinking about doing too, which was sort of setting this up so that it's here, then YouTube. So here, then YouTube. That's the thing. Not just me, though. My wife is also a big fan of karaoke. I'm just saying, you can blame me, but it won't go over as well as you think. And YouTube. Then YouTube. Right? Then from down here, it'll be you, then YouTube, then YouTube. There we go. So all I'm doing here is indicating that this guy belongs, these two belong to this page. These two belong to these two pages. And then this guy belongs to this last straggler page. Trying to make it a little more than likely I have. Bob, I mean, it's been years and years and years and years and years. So, you know how it goes. Sometimes I remember that I did this, and sometimes I don't. I like to go to the karaoke's with people, especially Japanese groups like our Dai group. Because when the Dai groups go, I know that we're going to sing, like, we can then sing Yamato and, so I got some classics that I love to sing. There we go. Now, what we've done here is nothing more than just line these up so that we know that this guy belongs to here, these two belong to these two, and these two belong to these two. So I feel like I need still more, slightly more something. That's all right. We'll figure it out. All right. Now that I've done that, because that's one whatever cycle, now I can duplicate it and bring this down to here. And dang it. Hate it when it's off by a pixel and it won't move. There we go. So it's funny, there was like not an official, but sort of an unofficial I don't want to say ban because it's not the right word. But sort of unofficially, the AWOL group and the Greenwood group didn't really cross that much over. I mean, we were friends and nobody was mad at each other, and nobody, there was no animosity. We just didn't often cross until recently, when I started hanging out with Dan and Craig and you, and you know what I mean? Like, you're here on the show. And when I say recently, I mean like the last, I want to say, decade or so. And so it's not like we didn't mean to. It wasn't intentional. Just the way it kind of went, And so, all right, we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. That's all we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we don't need this bottom row at all, which is fine. And I don't know why that was I mean, Never really understood why the Greenwood team and the AWOL team didn't hang out more. Wasn't any reason for it. It wasn't we hate each other. There was no, it just was just the way it kind of went, and so it was really strange. And it may have been just social awkward, you know. Some of us were just social awkward, and then that was a thing, and then we're like, oh, you know, we don't want to. The groups were pretty big, and that's entirely plausible too. I don't know. It's one of those things. I think it was probably more social awkward than we think it was. Chalk a lot more onto social awkwardness. Give as much room as we can here, man. Timing issues, maybe. I mean, concurred. It's entirely plausible that there were timing issues, things like that. But it wasn't intentional, and that's the key. That's the most important piece, is that it was never intentional. Nobody meant to be that way. Very important, because like at some point in time I was talking to somebody and they were like, well, I think that blah 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 blah, or whatever, and I'm like, you know what, I don't think so. I don't think anybody meant to be exclusionary on either side. Nobody was trying very hard here to do that. And then we had crossovers. B Dan was on both of our sides. He was AWOL and he was Greenwood. And that was always the case on these. And so and even now and today, B Dan's still both groups. He hangs out in the AWOL group and he hangs out in the Greenwood group. That never changes. Which is fine. I think it was just social awkward. All of us were social awkward. So it's not totally exactly what happened. And you have some exceptions. Craig is very rarely social awkward. Craig is Craig and will always be Craig. That one. But also, I mean, Craig also is like one of the ones that from the AWOL group that I hang out with a lot too, when I can. Not that often, but at least, because he's Craig, and he's a force of nature, unstoppable. I don't know if I want to do that. That seems like a bad idea. If I do that, I will regret my life choices. Whoa, I'll regret that life choice even better. Social butterfly. Yeah. And Craig is Craig. Craig is who he is. And that will never change. Nor do we want it to. I mean, why would we want Craig to be different? Those of you who don't know, Craig is one of the people of AWOL. I mean, I guess that makes some sense. I feel like Craig and Dan are the ones that constantly sort of put forth the newest and best anime from the new sets. And following Dan on Facebook has been very useful as well. There's lots of crossovers too. Oh, Jan. Speaking of, Jan is another one who crosses over from time to time. Jan has helped me do cell work. I really appreciate her work. I mean, there were Jan and Dan, and then we're all confused again. Everybody's confused. See you later. It was good to have you here, Patsy. Thank you very much. I feel like version 2 is much cleaner. always. Patsy's been hanging out here for a while. You can say hi, though. I mean, she's probably still hanging, if you were to say. I mean, it takes a second to clear the zone, so. Absolutely useful to. Okay, so the original version of this, though, alternated colors. This version does not. And I'm kind of wondering whether I shouldn't do that. Right? Like alternate out the colors a little bit. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to bring that color to 1/2 that color. Maybe. And then see what happens if I do. Right? And then that just makes this a little lighter. So it's easier to see the different pages, right? It gives it a little bit of contrast between the rows. And then that way we can see where we are on this, and we've got an up and a down on this, and that works too. Okay. Next thing I'm going to do is adjust this problem right here, which is we're on this layer. Copy, and we're going to paste it and deselect it. And the problem, of course, is that it is over by a couple of pixels. So I'm going to push that to there, and that puts that border on the pixel line. That helps a little bit. Aw, it's cute, cute bot. Oh, Bob, you've got a bot that wants to talk to you, man. And you're blocked. That's funny. Poof, gone. I'm entertained by that. But hey, getting bots actually out on my Facebook pages means something. That means that I'm starting to get seen. I actually consider bots to be a positive thing in a lot of ways, because it means that things are starting to happen, right? So that means that people are starting to see my work and stuff like that. So I call it positive. I'm not as concerned. But what a cute bot you got going on there. What a cute bot. A Poma will be a bad guy in my story at some point in time. That's how this works. Bob was asking a question about left page or right. So I put my comics together in the American format, following the rules of manga. So we start with a right page here, and this is the start page, if you will. And it's a right. Then it's a left right, and then it's a left right. And that's actually why I did this version of it this way, was so that we could now see which way they're oriented in the actual final version. So that's what that was about. When we had them before on this one, they weren't clear whether they were lefts or rights. Also, they were off center, which is enough to drive me absolutely batty. So this new version doesn't have that. Right? This new version is going to spend a little bit more time working on panel work here, and a little less time working on I wonder if anybody ever really actually follows those bots. I keep thinking about this every time. It's doing the, hello, dear. I just want you to PM me. And I'm like, does anybody actually do that? Because maybe people do. And I mean, it's just obvious to me that we don't do that. But maybe people do. Maybe that's something that people actually do. And I don't know. So there's, do I want to do that or not? I think I do. Well, yeah, Bob, good job, man. Donald, it doesn't help that we just got spammed by a bot. So that doesn't help us a whole lot. So, suckage on that one. Sorry, bro. It's not cool. Now what we'll do, now that we've done this. Oh no, did I block you too, Bob? Oh no. Hang on, Bob. I will hang on, Bob. We can fix this. We can fix this. How do I accidentally undo that one? I've never accidentally blocked somebody who I didn't mean to block there. I blocked the bot. I didn't realize I blocked you. Hang on, Bob. We'll fix this. I don't know how. We'll fix it. Unblock users who've been blocked in there. Oh, that's different. Go to the channels net and channels chat unban name. Yo, where is that? Okay, hang on, Bob. We're still working this problem. Let's see if that works. Let's see if that works. Now see if you can post. Because if not, nah. I think I accidentally banned you, Bob, while trying to ban the bot. So hang on real quick. I'll just go to Facebook and unban you at Facebook. Ban is a pretty strong function thing. Implementation details. What was that? Oh, yeah, that's not Facebook. We'll just unban you over here. It's fine. Okay. It's all right. We'll get there. We'll get there. I'll switch over to GS Davis Art. Because are you on my where are you? Commenting videos? Yeah, we should be able to pull that here on the flag. I don't know. It might be a block. We'll see. Save yourself. Don't worry about me. Save yourself, says Bob. It's all good. We'll get it. It's fun having you here. I don't want to dump you out of here. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I need controls. Random flags. I need to switch to me mode. That's how we do this. Switch profiles. All right. Not to that mode. That won't help me. This is so remarkably complicated. It shouldn't be this hard, but it is. Yeah, well. You know what? I will. The problem is, Bob, as long as you're here, I can figure it out. If you're not here, how would I know? Right? So if I wait till the show's over, how would I know whether I fixed it or not? Filters. Nope. Manage posts. I don't know. Settings? Maybe settings? No. General page settings. See all. What's my block list? Are you over at are you on my Oh, I know you're not leaving. But I can't but it's fun having you here. Why would I want you to change that? I like having your distracting comments. Okay, we need to unban. Not only that, I mean, more importantly, if I keep you blocked, Bob, I think you will be hurt. Like, it will actually hurt your Facebooky scory thing or whatever. And it doesn't, you should be zapped for that on your own. Tap in the bottom right, settings and privacy. So it's settings and privacy. Settings and privacy. All right. Settings. There we go. That didn't work like you not blocking. Blocked users. Oh, whew. Oh, I know how to fix this, Bob. Are you on my personal page or are you on GS Davis Art? Because if you just go over and like my page, GS Davis Art, you should be there anyway. Because that way, if I ever stop streaming on my personal page,
Yeah, Bob, move over to my GS Davis art page. Go like it anyway. You should follow me there anyway, because my personal page, I stop broadcasting on my personal page periodically when Kan has too many things, so that Kan can share if he wants to go back to Picardo or whatever. And then because that's what it is. It's on my personal page. That's why I can't find it. Is because I'm looking through GS Davis art, which doesn't help me any. Because I can't unban people on GS Davis art. Or I can unban people on GS Davis art easier than my personal page. I still need to ultimately fix it though. All right. We've done all of this work here. I'm actually going to extend this so it looks nice. So, who wants to be looking stupid? See if that helps you any. See if you can go to GS Davis Art's page and then there we go. Look at that. Now we're back. Bob's back. This time I won't flap Bob with the Bob hammer. Sorry, Bob. Hi, Bob. Okay, good. I don't know why I banned you on my personal page. I'll have to still unban you on my personal page because I definitely want you to be able to message me personally as well. But that can be done offline. Bob Bot has returned. There's a Bob Bot here. Hey, Bob, there's a Bob Bot here. Okay. We've gotten those two lined up. I want this green. Put these two on here because we still need to do the thing where we make this page. And yeah, Bob's like, save yourself. Like, it's all right, we got this. It's particularly funny. All right, we got the green. We're going to go. If it's not right, it's not right. So outline selection, draw inside 5. Right, that makes this. Oh yeah, see, that's not what I wanted to do. Because we'll need it on top. And outline selection inside 5. That gives us the splash, and the splash is outlined up here to kind of indicate that it's a splash. And then we'll go to 17 because that's the other splash. Right, that's here. So we probably ought to indicate somewhere along the line the thrombosis thing totally like makes sense now. We clotted up the whole show for a minute there. And we'll add here. Did suddenly realize that today is both Excelsior Day and also Nichelle Nichols' birthday. It's our first birthday without Nichelle. So that's a sad note. Sad footnote for the day. And I think what I'm going to do is take, just so that I don't get confused on this one. We'll take that one and add this
and then subtract this. Nope. And then subtract this. There. And we'll add a layer underneath it. Put this here. That way I can still write on it if I need to. 2 to 6 inches by tomorrow morning, huh? Yeah, my wife's thinking of going out dancing, and I'm like, I'm not sure it's going to work like you think it will. Now, actually, I should do the same thing down here, because this is 1 and then 2, and then we're out of the system at this point in time, but you could still use these 3 pages if you needed to for something else. So I'm going to outline selection, like that. And we're going to go here and just fill that in and deselect. Yep, I got nowhere to go tomorrow, so we're all fine. It could be 2 to 6 inches all at once. All right. Phrasing. There's so much phrasing on that. Now we're going to do, I'm going to keep going if nobody's in any hurry. I'm actually good for another few minutes. You guys can leave if you need to. I'm going to go ahead and call that good. So now this is our new layout, but I want to put, so this is useful, this arc of the story nint, which says that we rise the story to page 4. And so I want to do that in here. I also want to put in the numbers over here so that you know what page we're on. But our best bet on this one would be to rotate everything 90 degrees clockwise, like so. And that just made everything very confusing, but you can at least here we can do, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 on this one. So we will make sure we're the right size. It needs to be about 5. Right. So there's the Ark of the Testament. There's a glitch. Not a glitch. It's the way it works. But 5. 4. 3. 2. And this way I'll know what page we're on. Yes. We can duplicate it and just move it down and do the same thing. And except you could light it up. Why would I do that? That would be weird, right? 10. Nope. What comes after 7? 7. What? If you were smart, you wouldn't have done that. And you didn't. You weren't smart. That's the problem. Let's see. Of 9. That's another story. I don't have a 7 of 9, really. Cat suits. I'm not into the cat suits. It's a little too. I like 7 of 9 a whole lot better in Picard. She is markedly sexier. Why am I going the other direction? What is your problem? The cat could evolve. I mean, yeah, the cat suits always bothered me so much. I feel like no matter what I do on this one, I'm still going to end up writing above the. Yeah. That was so cool. She's so cool. And I may not use this the way that I intended to use it, and that will be okay. I'm not going to stress out about these things. It's not worth it. It's not worth the fight. And then 32. And that's the end of this. There we go. That way, if I need these extra 3 pages, which I probably will for some reason, I can use them that way. I'm going to go ahead and merge all of this together. And then rotate the pages back where we were. And that makes it easier for me to do this. I should probably put an S there as well, because that's also a splash page. Fine. Because you'll know it's page 17. That's not going to be an issue. The reason I'm delineating splashes is so that I don't accidentally write story over that. Yeah, I want to learn about the Fenris Rangers too. Fenris Rangers as well. Whew, having issues. Really wanted to see more of the Fenris Ranger fighter craft, but I didn't. That's all right. We blew it up. It's okay. I'm gonna cry a little, but I'm okay with it. And right, I mean, she doesn't need a cat suit to be interesting. She And that was something when she was introduced in Voyager. I mean, I saw right through that. I was like, really? Really? This is what you're going to do? You want to get more boys involved by putting Seven in a cat suit? I'm like, that's our plan? That was your plan all along, wasn't it, Ray? Get her. It's like, all right. Now to build the and that happens all the time in my story too. We get splashes on that one too. But you'll notice one thing that I have done is time up the arrival of the Polaris to be page 17. And that's why I like to do my scripts like this, because now I can get everything timed in and settle it in so that if I need an extra page here or take a page out there to get things to time in correctly, we can. But that's another thing we were talking about, like when I was saying last night, when we were working on this scene right here, this is a left and this is a right. And so with this being a left and this being a right, I wanted to have this drop frame here where we dropped out, because I want the cat to be like a normal cat, and you think it's just a normal cat up until here when it says something. Now we move into the different part of the scene, but I didn't know for sure whether that was the front or the back of this page. And so that's why I was like, that's it, we've got to redo these workout pages, because I can't tell whether I'm at the bottom of a page or the beginning of another page. And so I was like, we got to fix this. So that's where we are, and now we're here. And that's the way it goes. So now I want to do the grid piece, which is the part that says where you are in the story arc and what spikes you're at, because that's actually useful as a guide. So what we had on the original was over here on this left side, we had this, which says that on a scale of 1 to 7, of which all that really means is I usually try to do panel numbers in this one. Quicksand try. Yeah, maybe. Try maneuvers like that. Quicksand. I feel like if we did caltrops, though, we could talk about a ninja maneuver. That was a notorious ninja maneuver. Okay, so I'm going to make a grid, and at no point is it 7s. It never goes. Well, it does, right there. Just before the end. So here's what this was from. I'll show you where we got this from. One of my manga storyteller people indicated this, which is manga storytelling is in 3 waves that build slowly like this. So you start with wave 1, and then you go to wave 2, and then you go to wave 3, and all manga storytelling sort of follows this same pattern. The world is complicated up here, not so complicated. Complicateder, really low. This is the lowest point in the story. Then all the way back up for the recovery from that. And these are by pages, right? So what I've been doing is putting that actually physically into the story arc this way. Right? and I've been putting this in on the actual unit here, like this, that lives right here. So you can kind of see where you are on the chart. You know, from a scale of 1 to 7, where are we on this chart, right? It fits pretty close to Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. The problem is that Act 2 is delayed, right? And that's the thing, because we got, 5 pages, then 10, then 15, and then 17 puts you right here. And the problem is the way he set this thing up, he puts the climax to be after that splash, which probably is accurate. That'd be my thought. And this is a mangaka that I follow on Facebook. He was talking about this. So I'm going to shrink it down to what can live on top of the main runner up here, right? And shrink it down so it can live up like this. And that way we can talk about this in each group of 5. Yeah, and it does. If you look at my story arcs, they follow pretty close to this. They're following pretty nicely on that arc. It's not bad. So, but it allows me to get a good flow of this as well, which works. Kind of like a rising action, a falling action, things like that. So, he talks about Arc 1 comes to a peak at the end of page 5. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the end of that page. So that Arc 1 comes to a peak, then kind of calms down through here. And this falling action through here is where we kind of, it just gives me, I like to set up patterns that make it easier for me to understand stuff. And so I rather like to do that so that it makes it, it gives me a guide. I don't always follow it. I don't have to follow it. I'm not required to follow it. It's not important in that instance, but if I can, I will. No pencil. This also gives me a little bit of a guide as to how many panels I should have in each one of these. So what we're going to do, cut and paste. I'm going to take each one of these units of 5. I'm going to just move them up on their own spot. Yeah. So when we have that lull, you got it. That's exactly what's happening. The lull in issue 2, you can see how it falls here to this lull. This is where, and you'll notice that I come out of this lull at the end of the Alex and the cat conversation. It's not a lull. It's just that there's the action slows for a minute there, right? And then we rise back up again for the splash at 17. Do not save. Right. I'm a person who needs a little bit of structure to keep. That's the quotes. Yes. I need a little bit of a structure to keep myself straightened out. Otherwise, I wander. I know, you're shocked, totally shocked that I'd wander off target, but I wander off target. Right, stay on target. That's why Brent is here. That's Brent's whole job. Keep me on task. Are these by 6 page? Uh-huh. That does not surprise me. Hi, Merrick. We are working on trying to figure out how I borked this pretty good, but I borked it somehow, and there's that. That happens. Because I apparently cannot count. One, two, three, four, 5. So that's only to the end of that. That's part of our problem right there. That's part of our problem right there. That's also part of our problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Math is not my strong suit, guys. Never has been. Not even pretending to think that it is. Not even bothering. Not even. All right. I mean, maybe I should just put it over here. Like it was. I don't know. My strengths lie elsewhere. That's pretty sad, but true. My strengths are not in math, and we know that. Nobody here has even pretended to say that my strengths are in math. It's all good. It's all good. I'll make it. I'll make it through. Leave the math to my child, who, you know. Okay. So there's 5 pages. So it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are the first 5 pages. We'll split it right down the middle there. And so these are the first 5 pages, except that that's not. You're right. I think we need to split it between 4 and 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then cut here to 6. That's what we're going to do. Cut there at 6, and put 6 there. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's what we want. There we go. There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. And we're at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it's going to be just after all of those green lines. It's all good. It's all good. Sometimes these shows are all about me just struggling through trying to figure out what I was trying to do to help myself get through these things. And that's where we are. And then that happened. Right? And then down here. And then our last one, which makes sense, should be these two. Which is perfect. All right, that worked. That worked correctly. Now what we're going to do is just take this here as we have it. And we're going to transform it and stretch it. I think this way, yeah. Nope. This is not the way. Not the way. Transform. I didn't want to free transform. Free transform. I do this the way it's supposed to. Right. And we'll make sure that they cover all of the different pages as much as possible. So just points of interest here. And then we're going to redo these, by the way. If you're wondering, this is not the final. This is not the final version. It's just enough, though, that we can now see where all of those points should be on the rising and the falling of things. And now we can make a new version of this that's nice, that looks nice. It's like music. We end up with sort of a music staff up here. And that's what we're going to have. Right? The stretch. Here, I'll even put 2 bars in here to indicate the start of the story. I think I'm clever. I totally think I'm clever. Oh well. Then we will start here and go there. Here and go there. Here and go there. Here to there. Here to there. And here to there. And I think we will make normal a different color, maybe? Maybe? Like, will this be weird if we did that? No, that's fine. Except we got a six line staff, but that's okay. That's okay. And then we will duplicate this and bring it over. Damn it, being used. And just make sure that that's merged like so. Bring that up. We can take you and merge you with you. Why waste valuable time on this? We'll take like this. Just do that. That way it's nice and clean. And then I can go and just duplicate. Make sure it's lined up properly. Find it interesting that apparently it's slightly off over here. I don't know what that's all about, but okay. Then we can I don't know, should we make the bottom one like red, like this kind of rusty red, so that, you know, that's the bottom. Like, that's crap, man. That's crap. Right? You got that. That's the lowest point in the story right there. Maybe even more of a red. I don't want to go too far down, because if I go too far down, then need to be merged. Not with you, though. Yeah, well, and we've used this a lot. Both Can and I use this guy for a lot of stuff. And so I kind of like the idea of, there we go, sort of a baseline normalcy. Seems like a picture of a cryo sleep pod. Maybe. There. Then I'll take this line and we'll duplicate it and we'll move it down. Provided I don't grab something weird. There. We'll move it to there. I find it interesting that you didn't fully fill out all of the line out here. That's okay. We'll do that for you. There we go. kind of bothered that they don't fit exactly right. Oh, virtually nothing happened at first, yeah. There we go. There we go. These things guide the entire story from this point forward. These are my... and now that I've been, like I said, now that I've been kind of thinking about it, really don't write scripts. This is the comic book. This is it. This is what we do. This is how I do it. This is how we do it. And so, the more I think about this, the more I'm like, well, regardless of which way we look at this, I really should just be I should work extra hard on these to make them right the first time. And then repeat. I'm easily entertained. Actually, it's probably not that far from true. All right. That's my thought. I'll get it right now, and we don't have to spend any more time on it afterwards. I've been looking at the other one and going, well, when we got close, it's right, but missing some pieces. And I really wish I had done this better, and I really wish I had done that better. And this is nope, that wasn't the one. Yeah. This is a much better choice. And I agree. Do it right now, and we don't have to do it again. Brent's going to sit there and go, nah, you're going to do it again. Hopefully not. I think we've learned how to use these. Both Ken and I use them significantly in function. Leave a up arrow area over here, and it won't have to be a problem. That way we can put a code over there if we ever need to figure out the code or something. And we all put my comic logo over there. 1 to 2 years. All right. Star Map Land. I like Star Map Land. He was like, no. You're not allowed to be in Star Map Land. Meh. That's fair. All right. There we go. That's just so I know that these are not in the fight of any way or whatever. They're not here for discussion topic. Those 3 are out of order if they need to be. Okay, manga storytelling. We got everything there. We don't need to turn that on. Let's go ahead and merge all of this together. Now that we've got all that, and then we'll bring in the points to show where we're at, and then we now know we need to be at these different places at different times. Right. So rising. Go up one here. Work. So we're at normal. We move up to here, and up to here. Do you want to do this? Yeah, we want to do this a different way. For one, make that a little easier to see, folks. What we should do is this. Jerry paid me the best compliment though this today, because I've always seen sort of my fixation on stuff to be sort of disruptive, but making it as an ADD attribute, and it's not like that's a total disruption. It is not ideal, and I agree that I really appreciate that in the end I get a lot of help from Brent to keep me on target. But it is nice to know that it isn't like, we're not talking about like horribleness. Moderation. Yeah, that is one of the not necessarily an attribute of an ADD. We are not about moderation. We often need external moderation. Tis the nature of the beast. Kind of wonder if we did music this way, if it would be on the same sort of manner. You know what I mean? Like, I've got a music staff effectively forming here. What would happen if you composed music the same way? I have to ask my child that when my child decides to become conscious, which is not right now. My child is still woefully unconscious, which is a thing. Because he's on break, and that's cool. I'm okay with that. I'm actually fine. Yep. Star maps, I do agree. As much as we make jokes about star maps, I do agree. I had gotten way off zone on that. We'd gone way over somewhere, and it was like, well, okay, but But are you gonna get back to work ever again? Right? And I was like, yeah, it's not good, man. I am not gonna argue with that one. All right. I don't know either. All right, let's talk a little bit about where this is going to be and what color should it be. Because I think it should be this color. All right, so we'll do that. And on layer 2, so we're up a layer, we're to here on the rising action. That's not bright enough. I really don't feel like we'd see that as well. I don't want it to be disruptive, but on the same token, I don't want to be, I don't want it to be not seen. So we're here. And then we're here. Make it to about here, give or take. And then we'll be up here. And then it starts to drop. So we're going to come down from there. And that's fine. And then we're on the next layer, next group. At this point in time, we're coming in from, 3? Coming in from 3 up. 1, 2, 3. So we're about there. 2 up from the blue line, or whatever we want to call that, however we want to track it. And here's the blue line. So we're starting here, and it wants us to be about there, that mark. We're really dropping back to normal here. So that's the first peak, is right there. And through here, sort of hold the remainder of this line. We're going to start rising back up again. Not until here. And it's a relatively slow rise because we're at only 1.5 at this point here. And even there, we're still kind of at that 1.5 level. But I'll go on ahead and rise it back up a little bit more than that because I think we're heading higher into this peak. Right, and then we'll cross into the sort of the 2.5 level there, and then we'll cross out here on 3. Almost. Because here's the next sort of peak. And then here, and this actually becomes even more of a dramatic peak because now we're going to hit all the way up here. This peak. And that's the crescendo right here. That's what he was saying, but I think we want to bring that peak back, which is why I did it this way, because I don't agree with him on this. I think we should hit this peak here, which makes some sense because that's right at the splash. So this is this peak, and then we can come back down from there. right? At which time we will exit out of here on 3. So, by the way, this also gives me somewhat of a guide of how many panels I can use in a page. So, more panels typically indicates more tension and more action and more freneticism and more people freaking out and stuff like that. So typically speaking, wow, I just made my hair go like really weird. Typically speaking, the more panels you have, the more frenetic it is, the more frantic it is. And then often in manga, you'll do lots of panels, one panel. And that's drama. That's a drama moment of, oh crap, what did we do, right? So we're coming in on 3 here. Go across here to here. And then we drop down to here, right? And this is our lowest point in the entire thing, right? Because this is our drop point, right? This is the lowest, and that is down on that bottom line. Yep. So right here is our lowest point, this page. From this point forward, we come back up and we exit out on 3. And we're actually ending each 5 page on 3 on those things. That's kind of interesting, right? And then we hit the highest point down. Why did I do that to myself? So this is going to be the recovery is onto this page. So we're coming out on 3 to here, which is our recovery point. And then we stay up here and then start to go down again back to normal world. We're actually out on 3 on that one, or 4 on that one. And then we end back at normal, which should be here. There. Now we can kill that and look at the line as it reads on here. Right where everybody starts breathing again. Right. So I will put on here in little teeny letters peak 1, and I'll drop that down and we'll put it right here. So it says sort of this is our main peak at this point. It's right between these two. It's peak 1. And then we will duplicate that. Why mess with this in any other way? Right, we'll come back up. Peak 2 right here. Actually, I think maybe I have the count down. You know what? That's what it is. There we go. Peak 2. Duplicate that one. Peak 3 is here. lowest point right here. Now I feel like that's got everything we need on here. I'm pretty happy with that. It gives us the arc on these things and how we should sort of roughly build it. I don't think that right. I'm going to name everything after B-Dan. Just saying, man. I'm just saying. Saint saying, man. Saint saying. Right. So I take this little guy right here. I like him, and I'm going to keep you and really pretty much nothing else from this other page. So, there's that. Now we can move it up just a smidge, so it's got just a little bit of room here. There we go. All right. Well, gentle beings, I believe we have completed my newer manga storytelling page. All right, because this, I think, is much clearer as to what we're doing. The only thing I can think of that I might want to do is I still feel like I can't easily read this setup, this rig right here. And so I'm kind of, like 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. It's a little hard to read these two together. That's the only thing I can think of that will cause me trouble down the road. Yep, it's about time for us to wrap for the afternoon, which is perfect. So this cost us 3 hours. That's not a big deal. Oh man, but my back sure does want to tell you that. My back is all about this stuff. My back is saying, hey, it's lunchtime, which is what my back does. All right. I'm going to go on ahead and put the next issues in here. I'm going to put issue 3 and issue 2 and just copy the already, because of the actual format hasn't changed over here on the right side. So all that we've got now is room to actually put the text in on the left. So that's what I'm going to do real quickly. It'll take me about 5 minutes or whatever after this is done, after I go get lunch and figure out what I'm doing with lunch and seeing what we're going to do. So, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's a thing I'm going to do. And then we will get it done. Get her done. And I will see you guys tonight. We will... Yeah, I should go for a walk or something. I feel like there's no sun. It's all overcast and... Because it's preparing to rain. It's going to rain this afternoon. Rain. Then the rain's going to turn to snow. Then we're supposed to have like 2 to 6 inches of snow by tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. My wife, that's why I was saying, my wife thinks she's going to go out dancing tonight. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know, man. Maybe? But it might actually be really icy. Maybe. Anyway, I hope, I know, right? It's typical Colorado weather. Welcome to our world. Anyway, I hope I see you guys later on tonight. We'll get back to work on the story arcs and stuff like that tonight. And until then, keep your eyes on the stars. Goodbye.